So now that we talked a little bit about shackles, we're going to talk about Quicklinks and how they're applied and some of the different characteristics of them. In front of me, I have essentially 3 different styles of Quicklinks. We have a standard oval, 2 different types here. We have a twisty Quicklink, which has a 90-degree twist to it, just similar to as a twist shackle. And then we also have a delta link that's shaped like a triangle. You know, each of these have their own specific uses. The standard Quicklink is really meant to only be loaded linearly, so one direction. The twisty Quicklink, same. It's only supposed to be loaded in one direction, but because it puts in that 90-degree twist, it gives it some extra added characteristics that are beneficial for reeving pulleys and whatnot. So this is actually really handy Quicklink to use. And then a delta link. And these are actually a really interesting connector because they're shaped like a triangle. And they have somewhat better tri-loading properties, but they're not really meant for that. They're really meant to be used with a single pull in this direction at the top, and then a strap or a piece of webbing coming down on the bottom. Okay, that's really how it's supposed to be, how a load's supposed to be applied. When you're actually going and selecting and purchasing Quicklinks, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's stamped on the connector. Some of them have a working load limit stamped on there, and some of them have an MBS stamped on there, or minimum braking strength. If all you get is a minimum braking strength, you want to go ahead and use our industry standard of 5 as a safety factor to derive your working load limit. So if it's stamped with a 5,000 pound minimum braking strength, you want to divide that by 5 to get your working load limit, which would be 1,000. Okay. Some things to look out for when you're using these is if you overload the Quicklink, just like a shackle, it'll be really hard to get it undone, if not impossible. So if that were to happen, you want to no longer use that particular connector. They also have a tendency, if your slackline system is vibrating a lot, maybe due to wind or other factors, the gate will actually have a propensity to unscrew sometimes. So you want to make sure that when you finish everything off, you put a nice tight finger squeeze down on it, so it's finger tight but not overly tight, so that you don't get vibration, don't have vibrations undoing the gate. And I think the last thing to talk about too is when you actually go and purchase from somebody or for some retailer. One of the most important things to look at is to make sure it comes from a reputable source. So a lot of the really burly, really strong Quicklinks will actually have a CE rating on them. It's a standard testing practice essentially, and so those you can trust. They've been tested. They've been put through a much more stringent quality control procedure versus stuff that doesn't necessarily have that CE rating, and that would be stuff that you'd find in the hardware stores and the Home Depots and all that sort of stuff. So it's really important, depending on where you get this stuff from, the quality of the connector that you're getting. So just a couple things to keep in mind when you're going through and selecting Quicklinks for your rig.